This is my wife's car, and today it needs my help because it doesn't sound quite healthy. Let's find out what's going on. I like this sound, but my wife calls it noise. So, can you guess what the plan for today is? Yeah, there's no way around it. I have to fix it. But before going into the lion's den, let's take a moment to talk about the car. This is an Opel Astra sports tourer with a 1.4-liter turbo petrol engine making 110 kilowatts. My wife bought it brand new back in 2017. I've heard about plenty of issues with this engine, but honestly, none of them ever showed up. Just regular maintenance, oil changes every 10,000 kilometers, and nothing but 5W30 Dexus 1 Gen 2 oil. But today, something isn't quite right. The car is sitting at almost 190,000 kilometers, with a few salty winters behind it. So I guess it's finally time to start paying the rust tax. And I think I already know where the problem is. The exhaust pipe rusted away and decided it was time to leave us, but didn't make it very far. We need to stabilize the patient. Using this precision-engineered wooden equipment, we'll place it into the recovery position and then surgically remove the damaged organ. If it finally gave up, we'll at least give it a peaceful send-off. The operation was successful, but the patient will still need some rehabilitation. Opel has very poor spare parts availability. You have to wait weeks for pretty much everything. So I ordered a used part from Allegro PL and it arrived in just 2 days. The guy from Poland claimed it has only 9,000 kilometers on it. It probably came off a wrecked car. I swear, in Poland you can find just about anything. If you need a Ferrari engine for your mid-engine Corvette project, Allegro is the right place to look. This little guy looks rust-free for now, but I'll do some preventive treatment in the areas where it rusted before. I hit it with a wire brush and then applied a few coats of zinc paint. It's good for higher exhaust temperatures and offers decent corrosion protection. Just a few cosmetic touch-ups and the organ is ready for transplantation. But first, there's one important thing to do. Since we are going to be welding on the car, we need to disconnect the battery to avoid damaging any electronics. I really like where the battery is placed, behind the rear seats over the rear axle. That's exactly the kind of setup that helps improve weight distribution. The battery is disconnected. Now we can give the patient some electric shocks. That's about how it should sit, but knowing my luck, I'll probably weld it on crooked. I apologize for the background noise. Someone in my neighborhood must be working very hard. They're probably doing some kind of heavy operation as well, just like me here. I bought a new microphone and it hears absolutely everything. Hopefully these sounds are authentic enough for you. Is it straight? Not even close. One last check to see if everything is wrong. And I think it's time to stick it together with some extra spicy hot glue. Nothing is perfect on the first try, and that's exactly why the die grinder exists. More background noise from the neighborhood? Apparently, everyone's working today. Let's weld the other side. Alright, now that everything is tacked in place, the next step is to remove the exhaust and fully weld all the joints all the way around. Even more die grinder content. I decided to go with a bit of double safety, welding the pipe and then adding a traditional exhaust clamp on top. One protects the other from rust. The problem is that the front pipe has a larger diameter than the rear one, which I didn't account for. I don't have the right clamp on hand, so I'll have to improvise and solve it a different way. I'm doing it like this because exhausts tend to rust very quickly right at the welds. You can't stop rust, but you can slow it down, for example with a zinc coating. This isn't exactly healthy for the lungs. Proper protective equipment is definitely required. And now comes our improvised clamp, engineering at its finest. It's just a piece of stainless pipe cut in half wrapped around the exhaust and welded back together to protect the pipe underneath, without fully welding it all the way around. I tacked in place using my favorite woodworking clamp, an F-clamp. And this is how it looks in the end. Nothing fancy, but it should be good for at least another 50,000 kilometers. I'll clean up the welds with a wire brush and apply one more layer of zinc coating, just in case. It'll probably flake off the stainless steel over time anyway. Let's put everything back together and see what happens. I'm not saying I don't enjoy jobs like this, and I'd much rather be working on my Drift RX-8 right now. But there's a lot a man will do for his wife's happiness and, more importantly, for peace at home. The job is done. Now I'm curious to see if it's going to leak anywhere. It's really tight in here. I think someone did a pretty terrible job calculating how much space you need to crawl out of this pit. At least I got a full body stretch out of it. Let's not forget to reconnect the battery. And we can start it up. Moment of truth. One last check to see if there are any leaks. Even my special quality control inspector came to check on me. He says it's good, it's quiet enough to sleep next to. I have to agree. I think the operation was a success. My wife will be happy, the marriage is saved, and I can finally get back to working on my Mazda. This is actually a slightly older video, and here I am from the future, almost 40,000 kilometers and 2 salty winters later. It's still holding up very well, even though rust never sleeps. I think it'll survive for quite a bit longer. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time with another story.